today I'm going to talk through with you the different steps needed to do some ironing. So we're going to start with setting up the ironing board. So hopefully you all know where your ironing boards are kept in your houses. So you need to grab your ironing board and have a think about where you're going to set it up. So the first thing you need to check is where you've got any sockets in your home. Excuse me, so I've got a socket just here on the wall down there. So I'm going to set my ironing board up right next to the socket because that's the best place that you can do it. You're going to need to plug your iron in. So here's my ironing board here. These are a little bit tricky to set up. Some people struggle with them. So just give it your best shot. Most ironing boards have got a lever about halfway down on one side, and that's what you need to look for so that you can set your ironing board up. So you just need to pull that lever out towards the outside of the ironing board, and it should relax the catch, and then you can put your ironing board up like this. Okay, so I'm going to move my ironing board so it's right next to where my socket is so that I can plug my iron in. You also need to make sure that it's the right height. It's no good if it's too low. You need to have it about waist height. So actually, I've set mine up about the right height. So you can adjust it using your catch on here to make it go up or down. Just make mine go up again. So we're ready to set up the iron now. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is get your iron, and you need to get your iron ready to use. So a lot of irons are fairly similar the way they work. They might look a bit different, but actually they're pretty easy to use if you have a basic iron. So the iron that I have here, this belongs to my mum and dad, so I'm just going to use this one. So irons usually have a function where you can use steam with them. Steam is quite good for using if you've got really creased clothes. So if you're going to use the steam function on your iron, you're going to need to put some water in it. Most irons come with a kind of pot like this, which you can put water in, and it really helps when you're going to fill up your iron. So we're going to put some water in here from the tap, so I'm just going to do that now. Okay, so I've got my water container here, so I'm just going to fill it up from the tap. Use cold water, don't worry if it spills over, it's only going to go in the sink, and then you've got that ready to use to put in your iron. Right, so I've got my iron here, I've got my water here. Now, I just want to point out about a bit of health and safety. Normally you wouldn't have water near an electrical item. It's quite dangerous if you spill water anywhere near anything electric. We do need to fill up the iron, so we are going to fill it up here. But once it's turned on and plugged in, you can't fill it up using this. It's not a good idea. So make sure you fill it up first before you plug it in. So on my iron, there's a part here where you can put the water in, which I'm going to fill up now. So you've got to do it quite carefully. Make sure your lead's right out of the way. And then using one of these, if you can, you're just going to fill it up quite slowly. It is a little bit tricky. And you're just going to keep filling it. Let it go in before you try and put more in, because it can come over and spill out the sides. There we go. So now you've got your water in your iron. My water's up to about here. When you look at your iron, it should have a mark on it telling you how much water you can put in. Don't overfill it. Just keep it either up to that mark or below. Have a look at your irons at home and see where you can find that. If you're having trouble seeing where it is, you can always ask someone to help you. Have a look together and find where that is. Likewise, with filling it up with water, it is quite tricky, so it might mean that you get some help from someone at home. All right, let's take this to the ironing board and do some ironing. Great, so you've got your ironing board, you've got your iron. You want to put your iron on your ironing board on a special area designed for the iron, which is generally at the end. You've got your lead here, so what you want to do is make sure that is completely unwound, because you don't want it knotted, you don't want to get caught in anything. Okay, it's really about being careful, thinking about health and safety. So we're going to plug this into my socket, which is right next to my ironing board, just down here, and then I'm going to turn that on. Okay, so I've turned my iron on, so as soon as I've turned it on, you might be able to see that there's a red light that's come on my iron. Okay, so the iron is on and it's heating up, a bit like an oven. So I will know when my iron is hot enough when the light goes out. But hang on a minute, how hot do I need it? And what am I ironing? So I am going to iron my t-shirt. It's quite creased, as you can see. So what I need to do first is check how hot my iron needs to be, because if it's not warm enough, it's not going to get the creases out. And if it's too hot, it's going to burn my t-shirt. So it's really important to check. The way that I can find that out is by looking at the label. So inside the t-shirt or top or jeans or whatever you're ironing, you should find an instruction label, and it will tell you what you need to set your iron to and what the material is that your item of clothing is made out of. Okay guys, so this is the label on my t-shirt here. As you can see, there is a ironing sort of symbol just above my finger here. And if you look really closely, there's actually 2 little dots in that ironing symbol. Oh, my camera's gone a bit out of focus. But that will give me an indication of what setting I need to set my iron to, what temperature. Another way of finding out is just by looking on the label and seeing what the actual clothing's made out of. So in this case, it's cotton. Some irons will have a description of the material rather than dots to set the temperature. Okay, so as I said earlier, you need to set your iron to the right temperature. This is the iron setting dial on the one that I'm using. As you can see, there's dots on there, so 1, 2, 3. These little kind of weird shaped symbols there, they are to set your iron so that it uses steam. So we had a look at my t-shirt earlier and it said that I needed to set it to 2 dots. So my dial moves around quite easily. Sorry, my hand's a bit in the way there. So I can just turn it around so that it's set to the right temperature. I've got a little mark here and I just have to line it up to the right temperature, and then I just need to wait for it to heat up. Hi guys, so just the last little bit. Obviously you've been using an iron, it's very hot. So as soon as you've finished doing your ironing, you need to turn your iron off. You want to turn it off at the wall, and what you might want to do is unplug it just so that the lead isn't going to trip anyone over. And you could perhaps leave the lead just on the board while the iron's like cooling down. You want to wait probably at least half an hour before you put your iron away. Don't try and put it away when it's hot. And then once your iron's cooled down, you've put that away, you can then pop your ironing board back wherever you get it from. Okay? Okay, so we're going to start ironing. So I've checked my iron and the orange light on my iron has gone out. So that has told me now that my iron is hot enough to use. So I'm going to iron one of my t-shirts today. As you can see, this has got a picture on the front of it. And I know that a lot of you have t-shirts and jumpers that have got pictures on the front or writing. So when you've got an item of clothing like that, the first thing you want to do before you even start ironing it is just turn it inside out. Okay, so you're going to turn it inside out. So going through from the bottom and then just pull it through. Okay, so now I've got my t-shirt inside out and I'm ready to start ironing. So the first thing you want to do is put your t-shirt on your ironing board. So what you're going to do is take it from the bottom where you would normally put your head, and you're going to put it on your ironing board instead. So you're going to pull it on, a bit like you're putting your t-shirt on your ironing board to wear. Okay, and then you're just going to kind of try and flatten it out as much as possible because that makes it a bit easier to iron. Okay, I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to start using it on my t-shirt, and you'll probably hear in a minute a little bit of a funny sound, and that is the steam coming out. So the steam's really going to help me to get all those creases out. But what you do need to remember is steam is very, very hot, so you've got to be really careful that you don't get the steam near you. Okay, it's very important. You can pull your t-shirt round, just move it around the board so that you can iron everywhere, and you can use your left hand or your right hand, whatever's easiest. Just be careful of the lead. I use both, but some of you might find it easier just to use one of your hands to iron with. Just keep moving it round, and then you're going to do the back. Don't worry about the arms at this point. And if you're gonna, you can kind of pull it out a little bit as you're ironing. That helps to just get it the right shape. But if you're gonna do that, then you want to be really careful that you don't touch the iron, okay? Because it's so very hot on the bottom. The metal bit will burn you if you accidentally touch it, so just be really careful. Okay, so I've pulled my t-shirt all the way round and I've done the front and the back. So the last bit to do is just the sleeves. So you just lie it on your board, and then you just put your sleeves as flat as you can. Take your iron and just give them a little once over like that. Probably won't need to do the back because it does go through. It's pretty easy to iron the sleeves. And then do the same with the other one. So you're just going to pop that back. Okay. And there we go. So there is your finished iron t-shirt. So hopefully no creases in it, and that's ready to wear. So whatever you do with that, whether you want to put it in your wardrobe and hang it up, or you have an airing cupboard at home, just pop it in there and then you're good to go. So I really hope that you've managed to do your own t-shirt or jeans or whatever you want to do at home, and that you can say when I see you next time that you've done one yourself. All right, brilliant. Okay, and we're just going to pack away the ironing board now. So again, the same way that you put your ironing board up, you're going to use the little handle on the side, which you should be able to find on one of the sides of your ironing board. Like you did before, you're going to squeeze it together, and then that will just help your iron board to collapse. Okay, and then once you've collapsed it, you can just pick it up. Just be really careful of your back and pop it away wherever you keep it at home. All right, good luck everyone.